Hi guys, and welcome to week 4 here of the Reading Roundup. My name is James, and today we're going to go ahead and sit down and talk to you guys about all the latest news surrounding Reading Football Club. Now here in week 4, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the West Ham and Wimbledon games, as we'll go ahead and have a little review and some of the analysis that I was able to take away from both of them games. We'll go ahead and look at the latest transfer news, rumours and confirmed transfers surrounding the club. That's going to be both in and out, as once again there is a rumour surrounding a player leaving the club. We'll also go ahead and look at the general news, as there's recently been a couple of things in the news about Reading in regards to things that aren't transfers or fixtures being played. And finally, we'll go ahead and take a look at the Brighton game as Reading finalise their pre-season tour of England. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the first topic of conversation, and that's actually the West Ham and the Wimbledon games. So my key takeaway from these fixtures was actually the formation that Reading played. Now, something last season that Reading massively struggled with was the defence. And it seems like so far in pre-season, that's what Paul Ince and Alex Ray are looking to try and sort out. So my key takeaway from the West Ham game was actually how good Reading were defensively. Mikel Antonio was completely shut down by Tom Holmes. I think Tom Holmes was absolutely outstanding in a back three. He played as the right centre-half and just completely shunned him out of the game, as did Lucas João get shunned out by Kurt Zouma. But obviously we're here to focus on the Reading side of things. I thought defensively Reading looked absolutely solid, with Sam Hutchinson commanding the defence in the centre of the back three and Tom McIntyre playing as the left centre-back. The same three defenders also played against Wimbledon and were able to keep a clean sheet there as well. And I think Reading just looked a lot more solid defensively. Obviously, Andy Yeardon playing at right wing back is something as well that we're going to want to see. Reading still do need a left wing back. That is the problem at the moment, though. Junior Hoylett filled in there against West Ham, and we had Femi Aziz fill in there against Wimbledon. Look, Junior Hoylett did an alright job. I didn't think he did great, but I don't think he did bad. And Femi Aziz just isn't a left wing back. I just don't think he's suited to that position at all. So personally, I don't think we should be playing Femi Aziz come left wing back. I thought defensively though we did look really solid. I think with Sam Hutchinson commanding the centre backs, that is what we kind of need going forward. Sam Hutchinson is someone who's an experienced head. He's 32 years old. He's played in the Championship for a very long time. Obviously dropped down to League One last season. But look, he's an experienced head, and I think he's someone that Reading really can rely on throughout this season. I think that's what we're going to want to see, because we've got the two inexperienced defenders playing either side of the experienced head in the middle. We've also got options of Scott Dan, and look, he's going to be here anyway, so we might as well try and use him. Liam Moore. I think Moore was a lot better when he played in the back three compared to when he's in the back two. So listen, Liam Moore potentially could be someone that we could use throughout the season as someone that's in the back three, because when you look at the way he plays, he's a lot more suited to a back three. And, well, performance-wise as well, whenever we've seen him play, he's definitely a lot better in a back three. Other standout performances, I thought John Clark played really well as well in terms of defensively. He's someone that we signed from Port Vale's under-18 squad. In the summer, it was very a hush-shy transfer that no one really spoke about. He looked very impressive in his second-half performance against West Ham. I thought he played really, really well. He came on and did a job on their big, tall striker. I thought he looked really impressive, so yeah, he's someone that I want to see a lot more from, because I think he looked really good. So it'd be interesting to keep an eye on his performances in the under-23 squad throughout this season. Jeff Hendrick was impressive as well for me in both games. I thought in the Wimbledon game, though, he was a lot better than anyone else on the pitch. You really could see that Premier League quality coming through. He controlled the game, and he was the key to success really for anything that Reading did. Look, Jeff Hendrick, we all know what he's about. We know he's a quality midfielder, and look, he just went ahead and proved that in pre-season. He's just going through the motions. Let's hope he can be even better when it comes to the full season. I think him in the midfield, though, is going to be a big, reliable option for Reading throughout this season. Finally, the last little bit that I touched upon here for the West Ham and Wimbledon little reviews is that this season I think we're going to definitely go through with a counter-attacking system. And I think it can really work, especially with the pace that Reading have in the team, and especially with the power that Reading have got. With Mate and João up top, they can be just a lethal combination. Mate's already got 3 goals in this pre-season. He's got 2 in his last 2 games as well. It was a 5-3-2 was what we played against Wimbledon, with Tom Ince and Ovie Ejaria playing in that midfield role alongside Jeff Hendrick. And I'm looking forward to see what we'll be playing against Blackpool, because I think Tom Ince and Ejaria in the midfield is a really interesting option, because they're not your standard typical central midfielders. Tom Ince definitely not. He's a winger, and him playing in that centre of midfield, I thought he played quite well. He drifted off wide quite a bit as well, but I think he played really well when he played in the centre of midfield. He's got that option of the dribbling ability, and it's going to be interesting to see what we go with against Blackpool, because obviously we know Paul Ince likes to play Tom. So it'll be interesting to see if he is going to be deployed in that centre of midfield, or even if he plays just behind the strikers, and then you've got Ejaria and Hendrick sitting back a little bit more. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we go with for that game. Moving into our next topic of conversation then is we're going to go ahead and talk about the transfers as I lean in to move my notes down. We're going to talk about the transfers that Reading have gone ahead and been rumoured with and officially confirmed. So we'll go ahead with the only one that's actually official so far, and that's that Sam Hutchinson has officially signed a 2-year deal with Reading. It's going to see him stay at the club until 2024. When you look at social media, all the Sheffield Wednesday fans are really disappointed to see him go. We touched a lot on him last week and spoke about how we did want to see him. But for me, he's been classed in the middle of the back three. Going to both of the games so far that's been available, he's been absolutely outstanding. Watching him play, he looks like a really strong quality player that's going to give his all every single time he's on the pitch. And listen, in the middle of that back three, alongside Holmes and McIntyre, I think that really could be our back three for the season. He can also play in the midfield as well if he is needed there. Obviously, he is predominantly a midfielder. He's moved more into a defender in his older days. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Sam Hutchinson definitely do something for Reading. He seems more of like a Michael Morrison character for me. An older head that's more experienced in the Championship, and he's come and help Reading do a job. Next up, we'll move into the rumours, and that's actually George Puskas is what we're going to talk about again. We spoke about him last week as well, moving to Cagliari, and it's still in the news once again now. It seems that he's edging towards a move to Cagliari now for €4 million. This is what Reading are demanding, but negotiations are set to take place for them to lower the price. Listen, if Reading have got a set price of €4 million that they want to sell, I don't see why we need to change that. If Cagliari really want George Puskas, then they need to pay up €4 million. It's as simple as that. He's there for $4 million, so come and get him for $4 million. Spoke about George Puskas quite a lot in this Reading reviews, or his Reading roundup, about how I would personally like to keep him, because I think he really could do a job for Reading. But listen, if it's the direction that we're going forward of not having George Puskas, then it's the direction we're going forward. The next player is actually a rumour in, and it's been a while since we had a rumour in this week. We didn't really get one until last night, and it's actually going to be Mamadou Luam, someone who I had personally never heard of before. He's a Porto midfielder, apparently is set to join Reading on loan. There's a rumour that there's also going to be an option to buy him for €5 million. Listen, Reading have got a transfer budget of like a Mars bar, so I don't know how we're going to afford €5 million. But yeah, Luan played at Alaves last season, which was in the top division of Spain, so he was playing in La Liga. I think he played over 20 games there. He's a 6'2" defensive midfielder, and he's not a player that is an agent, that is with Kia as his agent, so I don't know where this has come from. I don't know if this is like someone that the Tottenham guy has gone ahead and scouted, or if Mark Bowen's had him on his radar, but yeah, it seems like, listen, I don't know anything about him, so there's not really too much I can say in regards to him as a midfielder. But listen, we need a midfielder. We're still lacking in that area. We've got Hendrick, we've got Forna, we've got Ejaria, and we've got Tetek. And obviously Sam Hutchinson can fill in there. That's kind of about it. So listen, I'll take Luam. I'll just take anyone at the minute, to be honest. Finally, we'll move on to our two trialists that we've had at the club this week. We've had Nesta Guinness-Walker and Yassine Ben El Mahani. Both look decent while on trial, to be honest. And I'd like to see them against Brighton as well. We very much need a left wing back, so Guinness-Walker could be someone that we should sign. And El Mahani, listen, he's looked all right when he come on. When he played against Wimbledon, I thought he looked quite flashy, looked quite decent. He had a shot just go wide of the post. Thought he played all right. I don't know if he's someone that we're going to persistently be looking to sign, but listen, he looked all right. He didn't look too bad. Nesta Guinness-Walker, though, I thought he really did impress me against West Ham. I thought he was involved in the goal, the build-up for the goal. I thought he looked quite good there. Against Wimbledon, didn't really do too much, which was quite funny because that was actually where he rejected a contract from in the summer. And yeah, I didn't really think he did too much in that game, but be interesting to see what happens going forward with them two. I think Guinness Walker will probably have more of an opportunity to shine against Brighton as we take a final look at him. Don't know about Yassin Ben El Mahani. I just don't think maybe he'll be someone Reading go ahead and just go ahead and sign. Next up, we're going to go ahead and talk about general news. We're just going to go ahead and look at some of the things that Reading have been in the news about this week. There's only 2 news stories really that I was able to pull away from this. The first one is that Tom Holmes has been named the vice captain for this season, and I'm really happy to see this. I'm really happy to see that Tom Holmes has been given the responsibility and the leadership role to be put into that leadership team. It's nice to see a local boy as well and someone that's a Reading fan be represented in that squad. Holmes comes across as a leader on the football pitch, and he's been a consistent in Reading's defence as well for a long time, and I think he will be as well going forward for a long time. Looking forward to seeing what standout performances he can have this season, as obviously last year he was someone that I was very critical of, and I was very much saying that he isn't a centre-back. Towards the second half of the season, he definitely improved on that, and for me, was 100% a better player when Paul Ince came into the club. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. And listen, so far from pre-season, I think he's done very well. His performance against West Ham was good, and I think against Wimbledon as well, he was very strong and he was very confident. So maybe playing in a back 3 is what's going to be best for him. Playing as the right-sided centre-back as well, I think he's looked a lot better. For me, though, it's great to see that Holmes has been taken up that leadership role because, listen, what Reading fans love to see and what Reading fans have always loved to see is local boys coming through and, well, just kind of playing for the club. Anytime there's an academy player, Reading fans are quick to defend them straight away. And yeah, I'm very happy to see Tom Holmes be a part of that leadership team. The second piece of news story is that Reading's academy has dropped to a category 2. Listen, Reading have said that it was because of COVID and that the move to Bearwood has impacted us. Reading plan to reapply for Category 1 as soon as possible. Basically, all this means is it's going to be harder for us to attract players from other academies as we aren't a Category 1 academy side. That's kind of it, really. It's not really too much I can touch on that because it's not really something that I have my expertise in and I don't really know 1,000,000% about. We're a Category 2 team now. We're not a Category 1 side. That's kind of where it goes. Next up then, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Brighton game. Listen, it's the last game of pre-season, so for me, I personally want to see a starting 11 that will play against Blackpool play here in this game. It's an interesting fixture as we're coming up against strong opposition once again. It's just like the West Ham game. We played against a strong side and we look quite good, so it'll be interesting to see how we do here. The lineup that I personally would go for would be Joe Lumley in goal. I'd then have Tom Holmes, Sam Hutchinson and Tom McIntyre as the back 3. I've then got Yiadom and Junior Hoylett as our right wing back and left wing back, with a midfield 2 of Forner and Hendrick, with Ovie Ejaria playing just in front of them. We've then got Yaku Mete and Lucas Schwal up front as our front 2. That's personally the team that I would go for. Listen, Shane Long wasn't there at Wimbledon, so I don't know if he's picked up a niggle or an injury or what, but listen, I like Mete and Joao up front as a combination. I think, listen, if you look at the goal against Wimbledon, Joao was able to flick it on for Mete ran through and finished it into the bottom corner, and vice versa could easily happen because Mete's great in the air, and obviously we know Lucas Joao, sometimes he can dawdle with the ball a little bit. But look, I think this is Reading's strongest lineup going forward this season, and I think that's what we need to really put out. I think you could either replace Ejaria with Tom Ince, and I could see the same lineup being played at Blackpool. I think Ejaria is going to be Reading's best player this season, though. I think him playing in the centre of midfield is what we need. And listen, this could be a standout year for Ovie Ejaria. Reading been blessed with talented players over the last few years. You look at John Swift, you look at Omar Richards, you look at Michael Elise. I think Ovie Ejaria could be the next one of them, another one that we've been blessed with. So, for score prediction for this game, I don't know. I'm really weirdly confident about Reading recently. I think we've had some good performances and I think we've played really well recently. I don't know how Brighton are going to line up, and I don't know how serious they're going to take the game, but I feel like Paul Ince has kind of driven it into Reading that he wants them to take every game seriously, and so far in pre-season that's what I've noticed. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, similar to the West Ham game. I think maybe it'll be a bit of a boring first half, but the second half it'll be a bit more livelier, and yeah, be interesting to see what happens from there. I won't go with Meite to score the goal because I don't want everything to be similar to the West Ham game. So I'll go with I don't know, we'll score from a corner. Tom McIntyre head one in. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you have all enjoyed it. Tell me what you guys think about the Brighton game coming up. And yeah, it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you have all enjoyed it. My name's been James, and we'll see you all in the next one. See you then.